Back over here. So we're unboxing the package from the UK, and what do we have first here? Let's have a look. Oh, the box is so good. Oh yeah, dude, finally got a physical copy of this. Getting physical copies of much needed game here. What the heck's going on with my hair? Alright. What are my thoughts on retro achievements? I have no interest in them myself, but I have nothing against them. I'm not really into achievements to play a game. I just want the game itself. I just want the full experience of the game. And if I want to do a challenge run, it's usually like, you know, just deathless or whatever, high score. I don't really care about lists of achievements other people have come up with, but I got nothing against them. If people enjoy it, that's cool. Maybe you can, you know, people that don't really know what they want out of a retro game, but they want something, they could just use retro achievements to do it for them so that they have something satisfying to achieve, I guess. As long as they're good achievements should have like a deathless run or a 1cc run for every game or whatever. But anyway, here's the first game, the unboxing. Look at this. Look at this. Held by TangoBunny. This package was being held by Tango. This has been in the UK for like a year. This package, man. I should have shipped this a long time ago, so extra special shout outs to Tango for being burdened with all this shit for so long. I guess this was a more recent one I actually bought and added to the collection. I needed a copy of Leander. And this box, like, I haven't got one of these big square format boxes from Psygnosis before. This is the first one. I'm surprised by how big it is. It's huge. Like, just in terms of its like look at that. It's like, it's pretty... Is there like another box that we can compare it to? We compare it to like if we compare it to a normal sort of PC game box, like Imaginext Battle Castle. it's like that compared to a normal big box, so it's like bigger than a normal big box. Just a very interesting format. Oh. Shoutouts to Imaginext Battle Castle. Yeah, just an interesting format to have it as like a perfect square. Of course, this is a English Amiga game with Japanese on it. What's it say again? The Lion Man and beasts like fight together or something like that. Leander. So Leander was ported to the Mega Drive / Genesis as The Legend of Galahad. They changed the name. So if anyone's played The Legend of Galahad on Genesis, it's the same game, except with a big difference, because Legend of Galahad has a big thing removed from it. I mean, in general, it's better in some ways because it has music and sound effects at the same time, which unfortunately the Amiga game does not have. It really should, but it doesn't. You know, it's not Shadow of the Beast, unfortunately. But and you know, Legend of Galahad on the Genesis does have that. It has music and sound effects at the same time. But it doesn't matter. The Amiga version is still better because firstly, it's the original lore. They haven't changed the lore so that he's Galahad instead of Leander. More importantly than that, they removed a boss from the Genesis of Mega Drive version. And it is the Geiger boss. There's a screen-sized Geiger boss you fight right before the final boss. Mystic's Dream, what's going on? They removed the screen-size Geiger boss from the non-Amiga version of the game. So that alone is the main thing. Let me turn this fan on. Gotta turn the fan on because it is getting a little bit stuffy in here and needs some circulation. But anyway, Leander, this is the same engine that was eventually reused for Bram Stoker's Dracula on Super Nintendo and Genesis. So they're kind of very similar games, and because I'm a big fan of that Bram Stoker's Dracula game, this game I love as well. Good choice. It's kind of like Wonder Boy. This is one of the real, I mean, there's a lot of standout Amiga games, but this is one of the real cool ones, just like Shadow of the Beast. It's kind of like Wonder Boy. It's got shops, it's got money, there's linear levels, but you know, there's a huge variety of levels, like tons of levels, tons of bosses, insanely sick pixel art, super satisfying combat that's like Strider, where you move and slash. You know, this game, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Strider, they're kind of modeled after Strider with the mechanics. Upgrading your sword, upgrading your armor with money, ultra satisfying. Really good game. I'm a big fan. It's very difficult as expected of an Amiga game, but ultra satisfying. This is what it looks like, by the way, if anyone has not seen it. There's the shop with a fake anime. Again, the Wonder Boy inspiration, or even some Capcom inspiration. And then the graphics themselves are 100% inspired by Shadow of the Beast. So it's very Beastian with the look of the graphics. Very, very Beastian. Jimmy Poopins, thank you for the 55 months. Just tons of like really cool big monsters everywhere. The big static monsters. Like look at this big snail there. And then this thing is just big boss there. Just these big, like you just, oh, look at this. Here's like a big dragon that's just there. Like just super good. You know, I remember like you go into like a cave and there's just like this gigantic spider boss and there's just dragons everywhere. Like lots of like sort of one-off enemies that are just there in the environment. You just kill them and that's what gives it a lot of the appeal. Just like Shadow of the Beast. But unlike Shadow of the Beast, you know, Shadow of the Beast was a little bit more kung fu or Spartan X with the mechanics where you're just running sideways and punching shit. This game is more like Strider. Strider combined with Wonder Boy or Wonder Boy in Monsterland, I should say. So, you know, Leander is fucking awesome. I gotta stream it again. What's inside the box? What is inside a Psygnosis box? Well, we got 3-inch floppy disks. Amiga games only came on 3-inch floppy disks. None of this 5-inch shit like the Japanese game. Japan, it's so weird how behind Japan was. Japan was just, they had to stick, I mean, you know, PC98 games did get 3-inch versions, but the more popular versions was always the 5 inches. It's like, why was Japan so obsessed with sticking to 5-inch discs? I just don't understand. We got the registration card with this. And then we got a manual, which is probably going to be garbage. Is it just going to be black and white? Just shit? Yeah, it's shit. It's shit manual. It's a shit manual. These manuals are often shit. Just black and white, just nothingness. There's like a boss sprite at the end, but that's it. So, you know, shitty manual. You don't get the production values of the aristocratic Japanese games, that's for sure. But at least the box is sick. We've got a Psygnosis owl in there. The game is sick, the box is sick, manual is shit. But, you know, this is one of my favorites on Amiga, so I had to get a physical copy. And just the, you know, it just looks so cool how big the box is with this crazy cover art. And this cover art, there's a lot of Japanese inspiration with this game. You can tell because Psygnosis were very active in Japan, of course. They had the whole thing, which was probably actually happening at the same time that this came out. The game is not developed by Psygnosis. This game was developed by Traveller's Tales, which are well known for just doing Lego games for the past 20 years. But Traveller's Tales originally made this game, and then they made Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then they started getting into just Lego games over and over again. But Psygnosis published it, and Psygnosis had the big Japan presence because especially Fujitsu, who isolated Psygnosis as like one of the top UK developers alongside Bullfrog. One of Bullfrog's biggest markets was Japan, with the popularity of Populous and Powermonger and all that shit in Japan. But Japan and Fujitsu themselves are specifically the ones that funded all those FM Towns games that they got developed by Psygnosis. And in those interviews with the Psygnosis dudes, which we looked at when we were playing those games, it was funny how, like, they said every week there was Japanese dudes that would visit and just look at what they were doing. And they said that the amount of money that they were getting from the Japanese, or from Fujitsu, the Japanese dudes, was dwarfing everything else. Like, all their other projects or their whole presence in the West, they did not give a shit about compared to the amount of money that Fujitsu was giving them. So they made 3 games for Fujitsu. Microcosm, which was released outside Japan. And then they did Nova Storm, which was released outside Japan as well. But then they did Metamorph, which was only released in Japan on the FM Towns. And, you know, Nova Storm is one of the best FM Towns games, of course, but I think that the DOS version, where they changed it a bit and they added more, is even better. But yeah, that's just an interesting thing related to Psygnosis and the British devs. We've got a classic. We got a classic here, courtesy of TangoBunny, no doubt, which I did not order, but it's a little gift, I guess. How to Be a Complete Bastard. I'm pretty sure they still sell this shit. They still sell this fucking book. I think I've seen it even recently. But, you know, I didn't actually have a copy. I never had a copy of this. Thank you, TangoBunny. Thank you, TangoBunny, for the help that I desperately need, I guess. There's a back page at the end, which is a parody of Text Adventures. Is it Text Adventures? Did this come out when, like, what was the company? Infocom. The Infocom games were coming out. This. There's that, or I guess this is just the thanks at the very back. A pure black page? Pure black page. This. Is this like a text input? Do you wish to fire torpedoes? No. Incorrect command. Please retype entry. I do not wish to fire the torpedoes, matey boy. Congratulations, you have just sunk the Belgrano. Disregard last order. Do you wish to fire torpedoes? Absolutely not. Disarm everything and point this submarine in the opposite direction. Congratulations, you've just sunk the Belgrano. Gotcha. Argy-bargy bastard scum filth. Disregard last order. Do you wish to fire torpedoes? Look, do you realize, you electronic knob end, that if I fire them, Maggie will win the next election? Now, do you really want to do that on your conscience, you stupid bastard? Congratulations, you've just sunk the Belgrano. Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves, etc., etc. You know, I've never actually played through a No, I have played Text Adventures on stream, but I haven't played like a proper one. And by a proper one, I mean like a standalone full price American text adventure in a big box game. Like the Infocom games. It's like, would I be willing to stream just a full pure, and I mean pure text adventure. None of this shit with, you know, pictures. It has to be pure. And it's kind of crazy that they were still releasing text adventures. Infocom was still releasing some pure text adventures as late as the late 80s. It's kind of crazy. With like no pictures still.
Good choice.
Let's put this over here. Stream Zork, Bearded Stranger. I wouldn't be against it. I would play the other Zork games. There's other Zork games I would definitely play. I guess this is another TangoBunny exclusive here. Super readable. I'm happy that this is super readable. Virtual combat, so real it hurts. Street Kid Scott jumps at the chance to be a virtual combat gamer. If he can battle his way up the ranks, the ultimate prize will be his. But then his friend Kate goes missing in the battle arena, and Scott's dream turns into a nightmare. From the best-selling author of the Young Samurai books. Okay, this guy goes into Mortal Kombat. This is very short. This wouldn't take long to read. You could easily read this in a day. Look at how big the text is. Gamer. I still haven't read the bloody... what's his name? Richard Moorcock? Space Axe, whatever it's called, that TangoBunny gave me in the last package. I still need to read that as well. That's right next to my bed. Michael Moorcock, that's right. Michael Moorcock. It would be better if it was Richard Moorcock, but you know, what can you do? I gotta put that right next to that Tango. I'm gonna put that right next to the Barbarian Space Axe book from Michael Moorcock. And maybe we'll read it. Is this another one? Conad the Barbarian. Or is that supposed to be Gonad? What is this? This is tiny. What is that? Michael Moorcock. Michael Moorcock was a very prolific fantasy author, I believe. I think he did a shit ton of books. And then at some point he changed his name. Had like a different pen name because Moorcock was a little bit out of control, I guess. In the lost years between the time that the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Aenus, a great warrior traveled the land searching for his long-lost brother. Axe in hand, shield on arm, maybe stopping for the odd drink and bite to eat. He was a big hairy nut named Gonad. Oh, yeah, of course, it's Gonad, the barbarian. It sort of looks like Sonad. So we got a Conan parody that looks like it's even shorter. I could literally read this on stream and it'd probably take like 40 minutes. Extremely short. Thank you, Tango, for another classic that I will put alongside these other masterworks. I will probably have to read some of these because these are very simple to read. Very, very short they look. Everyone thank Tango. Speaking of Tango, here's some more shit. What the heck? Interactive adventure, 70 possible outcomes. Tex Murphy and the Steakhouse Stakeout. Speaking of text adventures, here's a book, text adventure. Courtesy of Tango as well. I haven't even played the Tex Murphy games yet. I didn't know they made an interactive adventure book. I still got to play the Tex Murphy games. The first one, I believe, is Mean Streets. Mean Streets has side-scrolling run-and-gun action scenes. And then there's like a whole bunch of other games after that as well. So I gotta, you know, maybe we'll have a closer look at this book when we actually play the games. A lot of FMV games and shit. Yeah, they're still making them, right? They're still making shit. And I've got multiple issues of Tango Punk, which is TangoBunny's zine that is completely out of control. I remember one of the earlier ones had the solution to Alone in the Dick. Tango figured out how to finish Alone in the Dick, which I never figured out how to finish. I was really close. I think I was just missing like one item for doing all the shit to get to the final room in Alone in the Dick. But Tango figured it out. I've still never actually done it myself. We got tennis. Oh yeah, I remember Tango talking about these tennis games, the Ace no Naraya games or whatever. So just information on some very specific niche games like Alone in the Dick. Mahjong Fantasia. I still want to play this game myself. This is a PC98 Mahjong game with like this fantasy crazed theme. Tango, what do you think of Mahjong Fantasia? There's 3 of them, aren't there? A huge, huge section on Mahjong Fantasia. I'm pretty sure there's 3 of those games. And then we've got, what is this? Knight Rider? It's a Windows game. I do not know Knight Rider, but I'm guessing that's like Windows 95 or some shit. Cock Mahoney too. Yeah, I gotta play some Cock Mahoney too. Yeah, very cool. Very cool shit. Thank you very much, Tango, for those. I appreciate it very much. Let's get back to the other games in this box. Oh, I do know Night Junkie. I do know that game. I didn't know there was a spin-off. Alright. Yeah, Mahjong Fantasia looks pretty sick. Okay, so I got a physical copy of Disposable Hero. Physical copy of Disposable Hero, chat. You remember this game? This is the Dutch Amiga shmup that is utterly out of control. It's one of the big highlights on the Amiga. It's one of those games on the Amiga where even compared to Japanese shmups on Super Nintendo or the X68000 more specifically being a computer, it's better than the Japanese one. It's like more impressive than like Japanese shmups on those systems. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as good as... Like, if I was to literally compare Disposable Hero to the best Japanese non-arcade shmups at the time, I would say that it's not as good as Macross Scrambled Valkyrie. Gameplay is better than Axelay, but maybe, you know, set-piece shit of Axelay is still cooler. But in general, this is like top tier, right as good as like the best Japanese shmups. This game's insane. Graphically, it's insane. The mechanics are insane. The screenshots don't even begin to do it justice on the back of the box here. The way that this game looks and is animated, and especially the stage design, where the stage design in this game is kind of like R-Type, but just like constant bosses and mini bosses and set pieces and shit. Just completely out of control. I don't know if this is an original cover art. This kind of looks like it's probably the cover, like this is like book cover art or something that they're just using. I don't know if it's specific for the game. It does specifically look like the first mini boss in the game. It's literally the first mini boss, but this is not the best version. I don't know, Awkward Aardvark. I specifically wanted the disc version. There's the CD32 version, which is easier. It's like twice as easy. The original floppy version's ultra hard. I still never finished it. I never got past the boss rush at the end where you have to fight like all the crazy bosses in a row. But, you know, just utterly sort of spectacular game. I got the code wheel. I got the freaking code wheel. I really needed the damn code wheel. I got the damn code wheel. I'm very happy that I got the damn code wheel. It's also got like a poster in there and shit. The code wheel means that I can run the game using IPF files. So I can have authentic, realistic emulation of the original floppies without being cracked. A lot of the cracks for this game break the game visually. They break the graphics. So I can finally play IPF clean dumps of the game, but I can get past the copy protection because I have the code wheel, which is the main reason for buying it. Unfortunately, it's a really fucking expensive game. This is super expensive. This is the best deal I could possibly get on this damn game without paying like 150 euro. I think I paid like 60 euro or something. It's the cheapest I've ever seen it for being as complete as it is. But I don't have the manual.
Good choice.
The manual is actually not here. I've got everything, which is usually, you know, it's very hard for these like Amiga games and shit to get complete copies because people would always throw shit away much more than the old Japanese games, the Japanese dudes. But I got the code wheel, I got the poster, I got the registration card, so it's almost complete except for the manual. But with how cheap I got it, I felt like it was worth it considering a lot of the manual copies that are not even, you know, they might be missing the code wheel or missing this. They can sell for like 200 euro, 150 euro, or not euro, pounds. I'm talking about pounds. Like it's actually more, but you know, I'm happy to just chill and eventually just try to get a manual from, you know, if someone uploads just a manual on eBay or whatever, I could just buy it for like £5 or something because if it's on its own, it's worth like nothing. So I'm just waiting for a loose manual or whatever. I still wanted this. I thought it was more than worth it with the price. Ash said hi. I say hi to Ash. Disposable Hero. Got a physical copy. Another. We got two Amiga, high tier Amiga games here. So there we go. All right. And here it is. One of my most wanted physical Amiga games. Nowhere near as good a game as the previous two. This is nowhere near as good a game as Leander or Disposable Hero in terms of actual gameplay, actual game quality. Nowhere near as good. But it has like one of my favorite Amiga boxes. And the game itself, I still like elements of it a lot. Like, elements of it with the boss fights, the boss scenes that look spectacular, the pixel art, I still like them a lot, even though the gameplay is nowhere near as good as the other game. And that game is Deathbringer, with the big box. Look at this box. Compare this box with this. You got the big wide box. Deathbringer. And this is Deathbringer, the Sword of Abaddon. There's two games called Deathbringer on the Amiga. One of them is a dungeon-crawling barbarian RPG. This is the side-scroller. This is the game that... Man, this box... I've always just drooled over this box in the past. If I could just put it the correct way. There we go. That's the correct way now. So it's this game. And the back of the box, of course, they just show the boss scenes. This is the battle against the three giants. This is the battle against... Like, look at the pixel art, man. The pixel art is absolutely stunning with these scenes. Gameplay, not so great, but pixel art, top tier, so it counts as just a super cool, just mega cool game. Look at the HUD with the sword as well. It's just fucking awesome. The pixel art in this game was done by Colin Swinburne. Colin Swinburne was one of the pro pixel artists. He also worked on Master Axe. He worked on the Master Axe game. That's why Master Axe has such good pixel art, because it's Colin Swinburne. So yeah, here's the snake boss. There's this gigantic snake that's wrapped around a tree. Like, just these scenes just look.
Good choice.
They're just wondrous, like having such unique, crazy looking bosses. And all these bosses, of course, count as like these big static, I'm always talking about big static Amiga bosses that's like a set piece. This game's like the epitome of that. Here's the big ogre. This ogre boss is cool because he runs at you and then gets on his knees and starts trying to punch you and shit. So yeah, the game is really awkward to play, but you can get into it. I know Bardic Broadcast, of course, is a big fan of this game, just like I am, for obvious reasons. But it's a game that's cooler than it is fun. The box is so good. Look at this box. This like landscape gigantic box. This is just like, again, the epitome of cool Amiga shit, or the reason why Amiga games are cool in a very different way to the Japanese shit that I was showing. Like, it's just, you know, it's more like, you know, Warhammer or that type of British fantasy and sci-fi type shit. It's just so good. So what's inside this box? This game took me a long time to get a physical copy of, because trying to get a complete copy of this game is actually pretty tricky. There's a lot of elements in this to make it complete, and 99.9% of copies that appear on auction are not complete. So we've got the discs. Comes in a bunch of 3-inch discs, which are tied together here pretty well. So shout outs to the seller for wrapping these up so they don't just rattle around. You've got the manual. There's the manual, which is actually cool, a lot cooler than the Leander manual. Like, this actually has illustrations in it. Deathbringer. Like, lots of little illustrations of goblins and shit around here. Gameplay, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that's all it is, and now it's just in German and a bunch of other languages, so... The typical, still not that good manual because it has to be in a million European languages. But, you know, it's there. That's what the manual is. And then it's got... This is something that's always missing from copies on eBay and shit. This is the copy protection. this very faint code thing. You have to squint to see it. But this is actually the copy protection of the game. So I've got the copy protection now. We can play clean IPFs and do the legit copy protection if I play the game in emulator now. In addition to that, another thing that's often missing from supposedly complete copies on eBay. I mean, look at eBay now and see if there's any copies of this up for sale now. It's almost, you know, maybe they'll have the manual and a few other things, but they're always missing something. They're always missing something. And this is the first copy in like 5 years where they just had everything. And I was just like, thank God, there's one with everything. So yeah, the code sheet. I could imagine a lot of people just throwing this out because they don't even realize what it is. But, you know, there's that. The registration card for... what company is this, actually? Is this... Palace? Empire. Empire put this out. So there's the registration card. And then you've also got this, which is... this thing of, like, different goblin enemy types in the game. This is a very weird insert. This is actually common. This insert is one of the common things you see on eBay with copies of this game. So, you know, people kept this. But these two other inserts here, they're very hit or miss with whether they are in the box. But there's this. And then another important part of the game being complete, which is important for this game to stop rattling, because you could have way too much rattling otherwise, is the foam. The foam that's in there is often missing as well. This has the foam, and it's a very specific piece of foam that's the correct size of the box. So, the freaking foam. So I finally got... This game's not too expensive, it's not too crazy, but it's just so time-consuming to be waiting and waiting year after year, just waiting. It's pretty common as well. It's not a super rare game, but it is rare to just get a copy with all the inserts. So, all in one thing. So, there it is. All the inserts for Deathbringer in the big, elaborate, wide box. The coolest looking Barbarian Amiga box, if you ask me, because of just the wideness and just this image and all the shit. Yeah, the foam's important because, you know, it doesn't rattle in there. It keeps it all together. Very important. So there's Deathbringer. There's one more thing in this British thing, and it's a game that was a must-get so that I can replay it on stream with the physical box copy, and then I can play the sequel, which we still haven't got to, and I'm super excited for the sequel. This game... Well, it's not on the spine at all. I got a physical copy of Dragon Lore. Look at that cover art, the amazing cover art. More importantly, there's the logo of God. My favorite video game company ever. Cryo. The French. Oh, the French. Favorite video game company, Cryo. I streamed Dragon Lore at one point. Dragon Lore was one of their big hits. Of course, Cryo, very well known in the 90s for releasing a trillion games. And a lot of them were real ghetto and unfinished and shit. Dragon Lore, just like Dune and just like Mega Race, were one of their big hit games that sold a shit ton. It's this big hit. You know, Mega Race, I think, was their biggest hit. Mega Race was crazy how popular that was. But Dragon Lore was probably the next most popular one. Very popular in Japan as well. Dragon Lore was super crazy. It's like in the Japanese magazines and all the auction sites and stuff. Dragon Lore's all over the Japanese shit. This wasn't one of my favorite Cryo games, but I thought it was sick as fuck. Of course, I guess the biggest lineage of Dragon Lore is how many Japanese games it inspired, specifically. It did inspire some non-Japanese games as well, but in Japan, it inspired the entire Horror Tour series. Horror Tour 1, Horror Tour 2, Zedus, and Horror Tour 3, Labyrinth. All those games are direct inspiration from Dragon Lore, like one-to-one, basically. Like, Dragon Lore is a very important game. Pushhead, thank you for the 70 months. It's like I said, it's not my favorite Cryo game. It's not as good as obviously Hardline, Last Eden, etc., etc. But it's still fucking awesome, and I want to play it again. So, I got the sequel to this. I got Dragon Lore 2. And Dragon Lore 2 has a soundtrack. I think this has a Stefan Pick soundtrack. He's the dude that did the Lost Eden soundtrack and the Dune soundtrack. He's like the god composer. He's like the French equivalent of Ryu Uemoto from Japan, basically. He did the soundtrack to this, but then the sequel to this game was done by that other guy that is just as exciting to me. He's that guy that's completely out of control, the dude that did the soundtrack to Dio Gratias and Black Moon Chronicles. I think Mac played Black Moon Chronicles somewhat recently. I don't know if that ended in a rage quit or the game was finished. I still need to play Black Moon Chronicles myself. Does anyone want to get reminded as to the Black Moon Chronicles soundtrack? Because, this guy, he's just as exciting to me as Stefan Pick. Like, Black Moon Chronicles? Black Moon Chronicles soundtrack. Let's see. I just wanted the vocal.
Good choice.
Soundtrack that this Pierre Esteve, that's his name. It's right there in the corner. Pierre Esteve. This guy, I don't know where Cryo found this guy. Of course, the meme with Cryo, for those that might not know, Mac is here. Beat the campaign, we'll play the others later on. Beat the Black Moon campaign. What's the deal with the campaigns in that? Is like every campaign you play as Whisperl? He's the main character, right? Or is it just one of the campaigns? Because one of the tracks on this soundtrack is the Whisperl track, which is also insane. But the Red Fox Scion with the 5 gift subs. Thank you, Red Fox Scion, for the gift subs to Yona Crab, Zhish, Crash Saint Ducky, Broy, and Necrophigian. Thank you so much, Red Fox. Appreciate that. The meme with Cryo, this French company Cryo, for those that don't know, is that they were the most out of control developer. Like, they were the most out of control. It was like they were trying to evolve into like the next stage of humanity, like with their games. Like their games were so insane. It was like they were like some kind of cult, and every single employee that they got was more insane than the previous employee. And this dude, Pierre Esteve, like, go to his Bandcamp page. Like, people have linked his Bandcamp page in chat. Look at the picture of this guy. Like, this guy, it's like he's like God or something. Like the picture. And this is the soundtrack to a game from like the late 90s. Most of these are like mid 90s, late 90s. This is mid 90s. I think this is 95, Dragon Lore. The soundtracks were unlike any other Western developed PC game, and they were one of the only Western game developers that would release soundtrack CDs. And it goes without saying, again, that the biggest export for these freaking French games from Cryo was actually Japan for most of their games. When it came to pure profit, I think Mega Race and Mega Race's penetration into America was probably where they made the most money. But in terms of game after game being localized to Japan with the Aliens game and Lost Eden and shit like that, Japan was actually one of their biggest markets. And I think they even got the soundtracks and shit. This guy, Pierre Esteve, would just get together choirs and crazy shit to do these soundtracks when the other games that were out at the same time was like Warcraft 2. And Warcraft 2's got a fucking awesome soundtrack. I don't want to say it doesn't have an awesome soundtrack. It's just that it's like normal. It's like normal music, just normal synth and shit. Whereas the shit that Cryo was doing was so over the top that it's just like, what the fuck are you doing with putting this much effort into the soundtrack? Like they just did all this psycho orchestral shit all the time. They got like, it just... So Crates, thank you for the 67 months. Soundtrack. Wait, where's the Dio Gratias soundtrack? we want to listen to the Dio Gratias soundtrack again? Has anyone fucking uploaded it? It used to be uploaded by a Japanese dude, but I think he's taken it down. Dio Gratias? Dio Gratias? Is this the guy's page? Node? Ice Spirit Multi... Oh, CP Cult, that's the track. So this is Pierre Esteve as well. Dio Gratias is when Cryo maxed out with their weirdness and created a game that you cannot play. Like, it's too weird and too incomprehensible to play. You can't play it. It's so fucked up. It's so insane. And then after Dio Gratias, they released the Third Millennium, which was them going more insane. And then, yeah, the company just exploded after that. This is this track. This is a 7-minute track. This is a track that just plays when you're playing the game normally. You're just like trying to do strategy shit, trying to make sense of the game, which you can't understand. And this is playing while you're trying to play the game. Let's go forward a bit. Yeah, same. Yeah, Cryo made Hardline, which is my favorite Cryo game. Unless Lost Eden is my favorite Cryo game now. It's either Lost Eden or Hardline. But Hardline, of course, has the soundtrack by David Cage instead. I swear to God, the first time I was playing this game, this is like 4 minutes into the track of the whispering. Like, when I was first playing this game, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and the game was so incomprehensible. I couldn't understand the game. I'm trying to play it, and then this music starts doing this, and I thought that fucking, like, Cryo had, like, hacked my computer or some shit. I'm like, nah, this is... And I was, like, trying to quit the game. I was like, is this coming from the game or is this coming from my phone? Like, what's going on? And, like, I quit the game because I just didn't understand what the fuck. And then I'm like, what the fuck, Cryo? You went too out of control with this one. And the game, you can't play the game. You sit down, you try to play Dio Gratias, you cannot play it. You can have the manual. Remember, last time we tried to play the game, I had the manual. The manual didn't help at all. Look, you guys get the idea, right? Let's move on. The bottom line... The bottom line is that I got Dragon Lore, which is another Cryo game, and it's like a fantasy adventure thing with some... It's kind of like a fantasy Myst, but with some combat where you're like attacking and shit. It looks, you know... Cryo were one of the cutting-edge companies when it came to computer graphics in the mid-90s, and a lot of their computer graphic shit is like the absolute best computer graphic shit ever done, like ever made. It absolutely shat over American game intros and shit at the time, like 3D CG. Do you guys want to watch the friggin' intro to Black Moon Chronicles? You guys seen the freaking intro to Black Moon Chronicles that goes for like 5 minutes? Cuba, thank you for the 68 months. 7 minutes! It goes for 7 minutes! This is like when Age of Empires 1 was out. Age of Empires 1's like 96. I think, is this Black Moon Chronicles is like 97 or some shit? You know, the normal game intros of PC, like Windows 95, Windows 98 games at that time were usually like 30 seconds to a minute or something. This is a 7-minute intro, and even just the cinematography of it and like just the way it is and everything is just so far beyond other companies. And you know, this is for a game that's mostly forgotten, but that's because Cryo was so ambitious that they often usually had games that turned into messes gameplay wise, but in terms of production values was just insane. Gonna have to do some like scientific thesis study streams on Cryo, trying to like freaking figure out the like Cryo's gonna be studied by scientists 2,000 years from now. With their fucking games. We can't watch all 7 minutes of this. Just go like 1 minute, 2 minutes in. This is Black Moon Chronicles. Nice buffer. Nice buffering. Can we... Solid Snack, thank you for the 35-month resub, Solid Snack. Do you want to play Black Moon Chronicles? Maybe this is a future Solid Snack stream. Yeah, that's... Boom, 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 boom. 7-minute intro for like 1997, 1998 RTS. Zinglon, thank you for the 78 months, Zinglon. Nice buffer. I'm loving the buffers. Oh god, this intro is so fucking crazed how long it is. Can you load? Factions does this bloody game have? Yeah, he's the evil dudes with this their theme music. They got the giants. Cinematography of this shit is so far beyond, like, I remember we were like comparing this and watching, like, you know, the Age of Empires CG intro and all the other shit, like all the other CG rendered intros for big games from the late 90s, and they're not even close to this. Like, they're not even close. It's just so insane. It's a fucking 7-minute intro, dude. Just keeps going. Fuck. We have to move on from Cryo. Can't get distracted by fucking Cryo when we got to play this Japanese shit. Put all this shit back. That's the box. That's the box. That's the UK box. Alright. Got bloody Disposable Hero. The Euro release of Dragon Lore. And then artisanal Amiga fantasy side-scrolling artifacts of Deathbringer and Leander. Leander is a way better game. Deathbringer is just cool set-piece pixel art shit with a sick box. Games are cool as fuck. So those are cool, of course. Oh.